Hello and welcome to the Old Man Holmes podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we went to go see Red Dawn, the new remake.
Yes,
an old classic.
Yes, we did.
And it was pretty cool. I actually liked it quite a bit.
I liked it. I didn't like it as much as you did, but I thought it was good. Want to talk about the first one, then work our way into the new one, or?
Well, we could do that.
Because the thing with me is I'm not gonna lie, I'm not one of those people who's seen the first one a bunch of times. I saw it not that long ago, actually. I saw it probably like a year ago. And pretty much my opinion of the movie was the first one, a lot of people talk shit on it and say, oh, it's just Republican propaganda, but fuck, it's entertaining.
No, that's one of those movies that's a really good one.
And even though they're cheesy parts, like the whole part where he's like, avenge me! There's some of that stuff, but overall, though, it just was an entertaining film. I thought it seemed a little more dramatic than the new one. I thought it had more impact than the new one. And I don't know.
The original one actually came out at a time. I mean,
where people were afraid that was actually going to happen.
North Korea is kind of a threat, but doesn't really have that impact threat of the entire Soviet Union has.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's what made the original one have actually more of an impact,
At that time, people thought this could actually happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, nowadays it's kind of like, you see it, you're like, yeah, I don't think that kid that took over, who just wants to talk to Americans on Facebook, is going to be, invading our country anytime soon.
Yeah, he was being all, friendly with people in America. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Going to school here?
And then his dad got angry and told him to cancel his account.
I know what you want the Facebook! Not from the white devil! Oh, stroke! That's what got him the stroke, He was yelling at his son about Facebook.
He was always yelling at his son. His son was always doing something wrong.
Yeah. But no.
So he's like, okay, I'll show you, Dad. I won't do anything wrong this time. I'm going to invade America.
Forced to the Team America bullshit, singing songs about me. Then my son get the fucking Facebook. Now I'm dead.
Kim Jong-il has probably one of the biggest movie collections in the entire world.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I got you off there.
His house was like a full-on theater that Quentin Tarantino would be proud of. Apparently, he just had almost every movie you could think of.
He and Quentin Tarantino probably get along. There's actually a good friend of mine who I work with, a guy named James Calafieri, a guy I want to bring on the podcast at some point. He told me he was reading this book about Black Ops guys that were in deep cover and all that, and he said that things about Kim Jong-il, he is a major, even though he hates America, he's a big fan of American pop culture, and he, like you said, loved collecting films, and fancied Chuck Norris films.
That's badass. Chuck Norris films are amazing.
Yeah. And he also said he wanted Matt Stone and Trey Parker taken care of for his depiction in Team America World Police.
That's awesome.
I'm glad that was never seen through.
That's pretty cool, though, just to say,
unless he killed them
he's
off.
Thinking
and
about
these
me
are
at
actually...
night.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Unless they were killed off and they were just test tube clones that are just kind of in their place or something.
They're just really two North Korean guys now.
They're just waiting to unleash on America. Someone they'll never suspect. The guys that made South Park. But anyway, yeah, this movie.
Yeah, but the new Red Dawn, I just thought it was pretty cool because I went to this movie I wanted to see this movie, but I didn't have high expectations. I expected it maybe to be decent, but I wasn't really expecting anything too much more than that. Almost the same way I went into seeing the new Total Recall. I didn't expect it to be amazing, and then that movie just turned out to be just decent. Mm-hmm. Nothing too amazing, nothing too bad. Still a good movie, but doesn't get anywhere close to the original.
And that's how I felt about this one.
Now, this one, in my opinion, though, I thought this one, I liked the original more, but I thought this one did it pretty well, and did it, it did what a remake should do. If you're going to do a remake, I'm not a big fan of remakes, but if you're going to make one, this one kind of did it, right, I thought.
Which I'll say, a part I actually kind of liked was the part when they kill the deer and he's drinking the blood. In the original, they're all they're all saying, you got to be a hunter now. This is the tradition of the hunter spirit.
You got to drink the deer's soul.
Yeah, and then this one, they're all you got to drink it. He says, oh, this ain't so bad actually, but it tastes kind of weird. You're you know what I mean? He says, no, we know what I mean. We never did that shit.
No, I thought that was that's a good way to do it. Where it's kind of you do that kind of
a good little nod.
Yeah, it's a nod, but you're doing it differently. Mm-hmm. Plus a little funny part too.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it quite a bit. I mean, if there was one thing that bothered me about this new one, is I just didn't like how it didn't take place in a small town anymore. They made it take place in like a major like metropolis city.
Yeah, well, I don't think it wasn't like a huge metropolis city.
Here's the thing. If you got skyscrapers, you're a city.
Yeah.
You
You're
know
a
what I
city, but it's not like a huge city. They showed it from a distance in that one shot overlooking it. It wasn't like, say, something like
Well, I mean,
San
it's not New
Francisco
York,
yeah.
but it's not that far away from San Francisco too, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I mean, though. It's like there's a big difference between that and a small town. It's not even a small city.
Well, that goes back to the first one, because, I mean, I'm not going to be... I mean, it's strictly in the sense... I'll just get this out of the way. Strictly in the sense... I think the first one, I think the new one, still a good movie. It's still enjoyable. It's just not really, it just didn't blow me away. I thought strictly in the sense of an action film, it was a fun movie. The original though, this one, even though this is not one of my favorite movies, I still really enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it had more of there's more of a heavier sense of gravity. I felt like there's a lot more at stake. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it felt like it went by a lot longer.
No, well, the thing I like about the other one is they'd always say what month it was, and they'd have like that kind of wide shot of like the woods. You know, it'd be like November.
Yeah.
December, and like the music would be kind of like more daunting each time it went on.
Yeah, another thing about that was it just gave because by that point a few more of them were dead or something usually by that point it came around, and also it just gave it more variety. It gave it more different looks throughout the movie. Where this movie, the remake, the look
was all kind of the same. And that comes once again to the fact that it takes place in a city. And that's the only thing is, I mean, it's kind of cool that like when they're fighting in the city, they're doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I mean, it makes it different. But I guess it's one of those ones. Every movie takes place in the city. You get very few movies that take place in small towns.
And the fact that it's in the woods, that just seemed kind of like, it almost seemed more of kind of like, I'm not going to, well, this definitely wasn't West Coast, but I'll say something more maybe kind of like San Jose in a sense, because you could see a bunch of mountainscapes, right? Like right from the city where they're at, you know what I mean? So it's like, they can go,
it always came across to me, I mean, it's in Colorado, but...
it was in Colorado? That's where it took place?
Yeah, in the first one.
Oh, okay, the first one. I was talking about, I mean, like, not San Jose exactly, but I mean more like, you can kind of see, like, a bunch of mountains and, like, woods and all that from the city, but they weren't that far off, so that was just kind of a place to go hide. Not very much of the action took place in the forest. It was, they just go to the forest and hide.
Talking about the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they go to the forest for a little bit, but I guess those ones just, I don't know, I like when it's in a small town. I guess because you just never see movies like that. I can relate to a small town.
I know you don't like the R word, but you can relate to it.
Yeah, well, it's like I like to relate in like a good way like that. Not like the relatable character is supposed to relate to like 90% of the population. But...
like Shia LaBeouf in Transformers.
Yeah, it's like that's like a bad relatable.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just one of those ones, there's not enough things that take place in actual small towns. So it's like the second you kind of have this, like, oh, well, never mind, it's back in a major city again. I
guess that's the thing, it didn't bother me so much because it tried to, it was trying something, it wasn't trying to, like, follow it too much. It followed it enough. You can tell, and they all had the same names, generally, but the characters were still different. One thing, actually, I'll give the new one a little bit more credit for is the characters, aside the fact they're just their skin color, the characters were more defined. You could kind of like, because the original, it's like, okay, that's the Sheen.
Well, you just have Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze, and then just the handful of others that follow, other than like Leigh Thompson.
Yeah,
and
then you got the guy who's like making notch, like, all that hate's gonna burn you up, keeps me warm. Beyond that, though, everyone else just kind of really like blended together. I get confused who was who and all that. This one, I had a good sense of who everybody was. In all honesty, the only person that really bothered me was Maddie, who was played by Josh Peck, because
the Charlie Sheen
character, and he wasn't Charlie. This is now the Josh Peck character, but his character was just so fucking annoying to the movie. And the thing is, like, I'll say this right now: I believe in time he can be a good actor. I believe in time because he has dedication. The reason I say he has dedication is I didn't know anything about him really going in to see this movie. And Nora Chambers and Laura, Spencer's girlfriend, told me he was on this Nickelodeon show where he was like a little fat kid who weighed like 300 pounds. I was like, what? And I looked him up on Google Images, like, holy shit, this kid was like, I had no idea, he looked nothing like him. So like, if that kid can actually look the way he looks in this movie, that's dedication. I believe he could be a good actor. In this movie, not a good actor, though. He was just kind of like, he was whiny for a good portion of the movie, just saying, like, listen, Thor, I've got Chris Hemsworth. He's like, listen, Chris Hemsworth, brother, you're gone and you're never there for me, and I'm just gonna be like, he's like, dude, fucking Koreans are killing us. Did you just see what happened to Dad? Did you just see him kill? I just hate it when they do that in the movies, when they got to stop and bring up like personal shit from like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and
it
then
has nothing to do with what's going on.
The situation, hold a grudge. Like, really? I mean, if this was like a straightforward drama, then I understand that. But the fact that it's like kind of like in Battlefield LA. The whole time they're all like, hey man, this guy got my brother killed in a firefight. It's like, motherfucker, there are aliens coming from the fucking sky. Yeah.
But, yeah. No, that character, I don't think he was, like, god-awful, but I didn't think he was amazing. He could have done, he should have done the Sheen a little bit more proud.
He did, by the end of the movie, he was better, I'd say, because he kind of dropped that, but it just, for a good, like...
Yeah, he did progress, I will say. And I know people like progressive characters. I'm personally was once. I'd rather just have a perfect character the whole way through.
Well, he's one of those characters who the original, the Sways, his character, what was his name? Jed? Was his name? His name was Jed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was the main character in the original. In this one, they made Mad.
Really, I still looked at Chris Hemsworth as the main character. Sort of. I feel like it transferred once he died, but I thought that like I still looked at it as he was the main character throughout the whole thing. Because he was the leader. He was the leader,
but at the same time, it almost had more focus on the two of them. As it had more focus. I mean, he was still huge, no doubt about it. He's the one that was guiding him and leading him.
He's the one that made everything kind of happen.
He was perfect in the movie. I have no complaint about Chris
Hemsworth was he was like the leader of like kind of like the whole group and everything, but like some of the story plots like that, the brother kind of made that happen, I guess.
Yeah,
because all the problems, I guess you could say, were done with that character.
Well, everything he did, everything that went bad within their group, primarily, most of the time, happened through him. Because there's a part where, like, his girlfriend gets captured early on in the movie. He's like, we gotta save her. It's like, we can't save her.
It's like, you're fucking 17 years old. Who the fuck cares? It's not that big of a deal.
Then he's like, we gotta go save him. We gotta go stop him right now. Then it's just like, dude, we'll get around to it. We can't do it right now. We gotta do it right now. It's like, motherfucker, she'll be fine. She's in fucking prison. They're not gonna do nothing to her there.
She's in North Korean prison. She's taller than all the Asians. What are they gonna do with her?
She can fight him off. and then like later, like there's like a school bus going by with a bunch of prisoners. And
somehow, some way, he's able to see her through the window. I always think that's kind of corny. That's like those movie moments I always think are kind of corny.
They don't bring in the fact, like, oh, what about the glare from the screen or something like that?
Yeah, you would never see that in real life.
I didn't even think of that, but that's true.
Oh, when I'm watching movies, those are the things I always notice all those things like that.
And then there's like they're in the middle of like an assassination plan, and the plan was already a little fucked, they imply, but he fucks it up even more.
The North Korean like commander guy pulls up, he's holding the time bomb and saying, "Look, got you first."
Yeah. Which I'll come back to the commander
guy in a second.
Fuck you, Thor! I'll come back to the commander guy in a second. And then he like breaks away from the plan, which causes someone in the team to get killed. And like the thing regarding the Koreans in this film, they just seem kind of like it was two things. Number one, they didn't really have. They just seem kind of like, yeah, we're here. They didn't really seem all that evil. They didn't seem good, but they didn't seem all that evil. Number two, the Cuban guy from the first one
had emotion.
He had emotion. He was kind of like, I don't want to be here, but he was conflicted. And that was one of those things. I thought that they did a better job with the bad guys. And there was more variety. There was like 3 main bad guys in the original. This one, there's just the one Korean dude.
Oh, then there's a Soviet guy that came along.
Oh, he just popped in. He didn't have a line. He just said, there's like, there's that Soviet guy. That's all we see. And then later he's like, oh, he has a very minor role, which has a big effect later on.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. He was there. And then there was Pete, which I thought was like hilarious. He's more like a joke bad guy.
No, I forgot about Pete.
My favorite part's like, this is what I thought. He's like, he says to Chris Hemsworth, he's like, who put you in charge? I just wanted to turn around and go like, Odin.
He just looks at him like a lightning bolt comes down, strikes him, you know?
I just thought it was just funny, just like, because Pete, he was just like that total, he was really the 80s, like, villain in a comedy.
He was.
But he was in this, and that's just what made it hilarious.
It's funny, because he's like wearing like an off-brand polo shirt and like a blazer over it, so it was just kind of like, and like, you knew that something bad was he was gonna stir up shit from the get-go, because like, okay, blazer, polo shirt ripoff, comes up and says, hi, my name is Pete. Okay, they stopped to get across this guy's name, but no one else's name at this point, so
yeah,
this guy's probably, and he's
actually not a friend to anybody in the group anyway, so you already know he's not part of it.
Yeah, so, and that was he was kind of like the, even though Daryl doesn't fuck anyone over in this one, he's kind of the Daryl of, I mean, let me put it this way. Daryl in the original, that's the guy that swallowed the tracking device and they shot him, right?
Yeah, that was the guy that they decided that, like, well, maybe nothing will happen. You know, I know I swallowed this, but hopefully nobody will find us. He wasn't that guy. That character, I never came across that he was trying to be bad, but he was that character that couldn't take like a bad situation and you know, deal with it.
He was, yeah, and he was, and that's kind of what they kind of made Pete that guy. Only they made him like a dick. They made him an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Because then the black kid ended up being Daryl.
Well, Tom Cruise's adopted son was Daryl, and I actually really like Daryl in this movie. That's the thing I like about this one. The characters are a lot more defined. My only problem is just fucking like fucking Josh Peck as Martin Sheen as
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen's character. Yeah.
No, yeah, he does do some kind of.
What's that? Martin
things.
Sheen. Go ahead. Sorry, what were you saying?
But no, the black kid, like, because he gets like ejected, but he just thinks he gets stabbed with a knife.
Well, I knew that was going to come back around somehow.
Oh yeah, I did too. Because like I said, right when I saw, it, I was like, oh well, he didn't get knifed. Obviously, he got injected with something.
I didn't really put it together what it was exactly, but I knew that was going to come back around. So it was like everyone's all.
And then they're like, oh, apparently that's not a knife wound. It's funny because everybody turns really against him. Like that chick, like the second she figures out that she's like, oh, time to kill a black guy.
That's kind of what it was.
She was probably the closet case racist. I'm going to assume that this is still going to be somewhat of a small town. So the closet case racist finally comes out the second they realize they could kill it. And then the other guy's like, whoa. We don't need to kill him. We can just leave him here. Give him a gun and, you know, like a snack pack and...
snack pack? Just hand him like a pudding. Like literally like a snack pack. Not like some like, you know, like nutrition bar or nothing. Just like, can I actually have some real food?
Can I get a spoon? No.
Do you guys have any of the vanillas left? Yeah.
But you know, we wouldn't want you to be, you know, it wouldn't mix right? Relate.
Just fucking leave me to die. Okay, later, bye. No, that's
Can I have your gun? No, I broke it attached to this. Here, take this crossbow. I was almost done making it out of like wood bark, but here. Does it shoot? No, not really.
Well, I felt bad for him because, well, I'll say this real quick. There's like, because the first one was all a bunch of white people. This one, they mixed it up. But only the white people survive by the end of this movie. They all kind of go, like, everybody who's like, you know, like, because there was like the Mexican couple. I believe they're Mexican. And then there was
those people get like knocked off really quickly too.
The guy does. The guy's the first one to go. The girl hangs around for a little while. And then
she's gone though too.
She gets attacked when they start like dropping bombs in the raid in the forest, like the one at forest action scene. Mm-hmm. And then there's the black dude who's the jock who is friends with Josh Peck's character. And then there's Daryl who was the guy we were just mentioning, making jokes, which that was one of my favorite characters of the movie because he and the other guy, he was a child. I guess he still is a child actor, but he was like a real child actor. Like he was in that movie Zathura. I never saw it, but he was in the Journey to the Center of the World, you know, with Brendan Fraser or whatever.
Brendan Fraser stuck in CG land.
Brendan Fraser stuck in CG land, became Rock stuck in CG land, but he was in those movies, and he was in this, and he was actually a pretty likable character, too.
He did a pretty good job, too.
Because they were like the nerdy characters that were a little bit more of kind of like, we're not used to this shit, but yet they adapted to it. They weren't
and that's the cool thing is those characters all learned really quickly. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, well, I get it. And one thing I thought was
except the fucking football player who should be the one who's being like, you know, like the badass throughout a good. He was the whiny fucking emo kid, the football player.
Because all the good genes.
Yeah, all the
good. Chris Hemsworth.
Well, I was just thinking this real quick. There's the whole part where, like, at the very beginning, they're at the Wolverines football game, and he's being all cocky, you know, like the Josh Peck character. And he's all like saying like, oh, whatever, coach, we got this. They end up losing, and then all of a sudden the other team goes by in the school bus like, hey, thanks for the state championship or whatever, dude. Goes driving away, and then yeah, so like that. What if like right there, all of a sudden a bomb comes down and hits that school bus? Red Dawn. It just opens up.
And the guy just falls out like, oh, dude. She's like, he's burning up.
Like burns up, flies away into the sky like Team Rocket or something.
Well, the one thing I thought was cool, this was like the montage I thought that was really cool in this, but it really explained, because they didn't really have, I mean, they sort of had this in the original one, but,
we learned by killing.
But, in this one, like, it really showed that Chris Hemsworth, who was a Marine for 6 years, he trains all the other guys, and it has like a montage where it's just showing them shooting guns, doing hand-to-hand combat, doing first aid, doing survival skills. And I thought that was really cool. That was actually one of the coolest parts of the movie, actually. That was that, like, montage.
I thought that part was pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that part. And the other thing is, what was that girl? There's a girl that played Tony. Do you know her name? I forgot her name.
Who's Tony?
The girl that was...
dark hair?
The dark hair girl.
The only one that was, like, Chris Hemsworth's age.
Yeah, because everybody else is a bunch of high school
kids,
students. Yeah. She was actually originally Wonder Woman in like the failed Wonder Woman pilot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that didn't go so good. Like, it almost kind of sucked. Like, I'm gonna be Wonder Woman. Like, no, you're not.
No,
Red Dawn's hiring, so
not good enough to be Wonder Woman. No.
yeah. Well, no, she was in it, and they filmed it, but apparently the pilot was so bad it didn't go nowhere. So yeah.
Well, I think this has to do with the TV show.
Yeah, not her, but she was fine in this. But she was the one that came across some like the closet race. Like, finally got a reason to kill this guy. no, wait. We just leave it. That was actually a part I kind of have a little bit of, not a huge problem with, but a little bit of a problem with. It just seemed kind of like, well, for the sake of drama, because right after this, what happens is they do the main mission, which is get this weapon. They don't really describe what it's some kind of EMP weapon. Get this weapon.
I guess it's the exact same thing that's like in the original one too.
Yeah.
25 years later, same technology that got us.
It's like they got this weapon, and they're like, all right, well, that's where the Colonel character from the first one, where he comes in the middle and dies off, he comes in at the end with 2 other Marines and sticks around with them, who I believe was played by the guy who played the comedian. From
Those guys were all cool. I liked all 3 of those. Excluding the one guy, just like had too many of like those very stereotypical Marine lines.
You knew that guy was gonna die. He's all like, nothing more badass than a Marine with a rifle. Like, yeah, he's dead.
And then like everything just like, like it's like a shit sandwich. It's like a shit storm. It's like shit for breakfast. Like it's like everything. This guy
Listen, shithead, I got a gun. It ain't over.
Yeah, like everything in this guy's life is shit.
Yeah, everything he said was shit, or everything he said was hoorah.
Yeah, he was like that guy was a little too stereotypical, but I like the other 2 guys.
There's the Asian dude.
The Asian guy. These guys like how long have these guys been Marines for? It looks like they're like 50 years old.
It's like, hey, what do you want for breakfast?
Yeah, we're the only guys that survived, the old guys. Why'd you guys survive? Well, we were in this bunker, like way below.
They said they were brought out of retirement. They said they were retired, but they got out. They were pulled back into active duty.
Oh, was that it? Because I thought they just were at the like camp, and they're like, well, it used to exist, but not anymore. But we're bringing it back. I think that's what they said instead. I don't think they were like brought in from being old.
I thought it was something like that. They were brought in and they're active, something like that. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so the comedian and the Asian dude were pretty badass, and they actually But anyway, I'm getting back to so what ended up happening is they go after this device, and that's where the big action scene of the movie is. I mean, there's a lot of action in the movie, but this is where the big, I guess, the climax, or so you think it's the climax, happens. Mm-hmm. They get the device, they get back, and within that, that's where Daryl, Tom Cruise's adopted son, gets stabbed, and that's going to come back around somehow.
We don't know for sure that that's Tom Cruise's adopted son.
Well, didn't we look it up on Google Images, like Tom Cruise's adopted son, or
we didn't look at
his name's something Cruise.
Somebody just told me that was Tom Cruise's son. So for the longest time, I didn't. For some reason, I just could not imagine being a black person. Now I'm really confused. I think this is really coming from word of mouth. Like I don't know.
This is really word. Oh, we've been just talking out our asses for a good portion of this podcast. All right, well,
I meant to look that up.
He's a black guy. His last name was Cruz. I just put down no. I thought someone said that he adopted him. Maybe he didn't, but whatever. Anyway, he did a good job in the movie, regardless. So
he had some of Tom Cruise's
he's his
acting ability somehow, some way.
He's his acting dojo. Yeah. No. So anyway, he gets stabbed, and then they find, and everything seems fine. Like, okay, this is the end of the movie. Everyone's gonna wind down, and then you knew it was gonna come back because they showed the Russian dude again, who had no part previously. It's like there's no, because they just let him run off. It's like, something just happened. So, and then that's when Chris Hemsworth walks by and says, okay, everything's all right. Then he gets shot in the head through the window.
Well, that movie, one thing they did always is whenever you thought that things were calm and things were going good,
it went to shit.
Yeah, it always went to shit. Like whenever everything seemed like, okay, we can take a breath, that was when like something really big was going to happen.
Uh-huh. And then what ended up happening is, so Chris Hemsworth dies right there, which is probably the saddest part of the movie, because I was like, oh, that was like the coolest character in this whole movie.
Yeah, I know.
And then they begin this little chase thing, like, how'd this happen? How'd they find us? And that's when they put 2 and 2 together. And that part right there almost seemed kind of like, that part almost seemed like forced drama. Like, it didn't really need to happen. It could have ended, like, a little before then. It just seemed really forced, like, oh, we just got to make it sad. And that's when they imply Josh Peck, because Chris Hemsworth, near the beginning of the movie, when they're putting their army together and training, he's given the speech, and at the end of the movie, Josh Peck is given this speech in his brother's place, and the only 3 remaining members is I remember the character's name because I watched the original not too long ago. Erica, who's the blonde girl in this one, Tony, who's the dark-haired girl, and then the nerdy kid, the one nerdy kid who stayed around and manned up from Journey to the Center of the Earth. That guy. And it's just one of those things. I just thought that part at the end with having, I mean, if he died, all right, but just right there. Oh, by the way, and like just, you know, having Chris Hemsworth die and then leaving Daryl out in the woods to die for no other reason.
Or whatever happens to him.
For whatever happens to him, he's gonna die. It's just kind of like, it just seems kind of like just forced drama. That's what it sort of felt like to me because he didn't really need to die.
Oh yeah, but you can't keep him around.
Can't keep him around.
Well, like I mean.
Yeah, in real life.
You fucking racist.
I'm not
like racist. You can't keep a guy around who's got a tracker in him.
Oh no, you can't. Yeah, I get that. I was just like,
even though I will say that kid was treated as like the black like character throughout the entire movie because in the very beginning he was used as the human like antenna for the TV.
Oh, that's right. He was standing out the window.
Like, yo, Daryl, go outside. You hold that antenna. You know, there may be an open view of a sniper, but at least he'll be inside watching TV and eating Cheetos.
Yeah. And then, then they were trying to find the news broadcast. No, but no, it was a good movie.
For some reason, his dad was also one of the bad guys too.
His dad was the mayor.
His dad was the guy that caved in and just was like.
His dad was the mayor, like just like in the first one, his dad was the mayor also. But Daryl in this one didn't like screw him over like he did in the last, like in the original. Yeah. Which I still like the original more though. Like I said, I think this one does some things better. Like I think the character's a little bit more fleshed out in this one. But I just kind of like how the first this does feel kind of like a big like. Not a summer blockbuster film, but it does feel like a big action film. Where the other one, there's a lot of action in it, but it felt a little bit more like
a guerrilla warfare movie.
It felt more serious, and plus the end when like Patrick Swayze. I like the end
in the original one more because I don't know. I like because like everybody dies, but they all die for like to fix America. And this one's like they make it so like they start up like a revolution in a sense. It doesn't really bother me that much. But I do like the other ending more.
Well, the other one. Well, the thing about it was just so much more bleaker, and it didn't really have. I mean, there was some cool action in the final battle of the original. Just like, listen, we're all dying off here and here. You, what's the girl's name again?
Which one?
Dirty Dancing. What's her name?
Oh, Leigh Thompson.
Leigh Thompson and the Italian kid.
What's it? There's 2 of them there. I don't think that's actually Leigh Thompson. That's
the other one. Well, Leigh Thompson's the one that stays with the grenade.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other one. They're all like, all right, well, you and the Italian kid stay here. Me and my brother are going to go do this. And I kind of liked how...
I remember that one kid's like so Italian because at the very beginning, he's like, Papa! Papa!
that was the funny thing.
Oh, Papa, don't leave me!
When he was with his friends throughout the whole movie, he just talked very normal. The second his dad walked in, one second, if I don't put on my Italian voice, my dad will beat me. Yeah. He says, Alfredo, Papa! Just make it so fucking Italian. Italianize the shit out of it. No, but anyway, then they end up surviving, and like you got to tell the story, you got to let them know what happened, and that was just, it was almost a little bit more bleaker, but it was almost like at the same time more effective. And there's that part, it wasn't like this crazy action scene at the end. They kind of went in, they killed a few people, they made a mark. And then they kind of just like trot off into the snow, just like bleeding. And the Cuban guy sees them and he has an opportunity to kill him. He just looks and just waves, like, just get out of here, go. And just how they just sit at the park bench where they were at. I believe there's a picture of them there when they were kids. And they just slowly just like fade out.
Yeah.
And that was just such an effective ending. And it was so good. And then it just goes. And not saying that this, I mean, I know they're 2 separate movies, but I guess it's kind of hard when you're watching a remake. It's kind of hard to block the original out of your mind.
Yeah. No, the original one's definitely better, but I did think this one did a lot better job than it was. I guess because I didn't expect the movie to be that good, and it actually like surprised me a little bit more. Because the action scene's really cool. I liked when it showed them training. I thought that was really cool.
That was well done. Yeah.
Just some of the setups that they had in it were kind of neat, and like just like what they were doing, and
maybe want to listen to Creedence Clearwater.
Oh yeah, they had a lot of Creedence Clearwater playing in it.
Yeah, well, I like that part.
They had a lot of American patriotism.
I like that too.
Except the fact that they tried to make Barack Obama look like a bad guy in the very beginning, but other than that,
did they get across that like what they do with Barack Obama at the beginning? I don't remember.
Well, like it kind of just like in the very beginning, it kind of had that thing where it's just like, oh, it really just comes like across like that movie. Like I really want to know what they would have done.
The Democrats pushed out, kind of like that.
Like since you elected Barack Obama back in, guess what? Fucking World War III just happened. It kind of came across like that.
Well, Reagan was in when the original came in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. It was probably paid for by Reagan.
Oh yeah, well, because that's the other thing with the movie. It's like it kind of has that Republican problem, but sort of like in a sense, I always say Republican, but I mean, it more comes across to me not necessarily Republican, but it just really comes across as very American.
I guess we live in this age where
like if it's American, it's Republican, but it's like that's not really true.
I guess just because I guess you got the whole very. I'm not trying to say every Republican's like this, but you got the very blind like. If Uncle Sam tells you to suck a dick, you suck that dick for America. You know, it seems kind of like that. And not saying every Republican's like that, but it almost that's what almost kind of like the poster child for it seems to be.
And to me, it's like I always looked at Red Dawn. It's like I don't consider it really Republican. I just consider it very American patriotism. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what? If your country's getting attacked,
you attack back.
You know, you stand up. You don't expect somebody else to do it. You know.
Yeah.
You take to arms. Which that's really what that movie's like. It's really about. It's like a Revolutionary War kind of like ideal.
Yeah. And I liked the movie. I mean, it sounds like I didn't. I enjoyed it. I just thought the original was just better. And I just thought it pulled things. I think where the original actually, I'm not going to say it had a lot to say, but it was it did
have a lot to say.
A lot about American patriotism, I guess.
And just kind of like, it's like the whole message of the movie's pretty good, though.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be like, actually, I guess I kind of worded that wrong. I'm not like, this movie didn't say shit, it was just killing. I'm not saying that. I mean, I guess
I know they do come across kind of racist sometimes against like the other people. It's just like,
it was a very straightforward movie. The original was very straightforward, and you can have a message with a straightforward story. Just, you know, the idea of these kids fighting off a revolution on their own with no help. That's a lot. That's pretty cool. It was just more one of those things. It was a very simplistic movie, and at the same time, the drama I thought was way more effective in the original than in this one, because this one it felt more. I'm not pissed off that more people survived, because the original 2 people survived. This one 4 or 5 people survived.
Nobody survived in the original.
The girl and the Italian kid survive.
I don't think so, because why would they make that memorial at the very end?
I thought
these kids gave their lives.
Oh, I thought it was kind of cutting away. I thought they left, and I thought it was something like that. Maybe they didn't. Oh, I don't know. I thought it was kind of like implied that like they went off and they that was like the Wolverine's last stand, going to that battle, and the last 2 the girl and the Italian kid left to go somewhere else or something.
No, it's just the very end they had the memorial thing.
I guess that's a good point.
And they name all the people up there, so I'm assuming they died.
I didn't see their names on there, but that's a good point. Okay, but yeah, I see what you're saying. But still, it's one of those things, though. Regardless, yeah, well, whether they did or didn't die, I thought the original had a more heavy hitting ending.
I thought the one thing that made the new one kind of cool is. Not like that like this stuff needs to be explained, but I kind of like just like the detail they went into, like how these people went from being like kids to being like warriors, and then just like the plans they were doing, and just mainly it's all through Chris Hemsworth. He really does the Sways proud, but he really makes that movie like what it is.
Chris Hemsworth. No, if this movie has the best part of this movie is hands down Chris Hemsworth. I
mean everything that revolves around him. I mean he's doing fantastic. And he really just gets the movie like progressing and doing well.
Yeah, I have no complaints about him. He's hands down the best part of this movie. And most of the cast is fine in this movie. It's not even so much Josh Peck, it's more his character. I mean, a little bit of his acting, because there'll be moments where like someone died where you ran off to look for your girlfriend. And there's this part
whatever.
He looks kind of like he almost looks like he belongs in a 90s comedy right there. You know what I mean? Kind of like, really? That's fucked up. Whoa, you know?
Yeah, but like I don't really care. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
For him.
Douche.
One thing I thought this ever since the original Red Dawn. I always thought a cool movie would be like a Red Dawn tie-in, but you see what happens throughout the entire like U.S. Like instead of just focusing on this like small section, you know, you would actually get to see all the shit they talk about, but you never see any of it. You know, you get to see the full-on war. You see the bomb go off. You know,
you might even hear something.
You see like the attacks on like Washington and New York.
Just something that on a grand scale, like just showing on different, just like 3 different
like
stories.
A movie that had like maybe like 6 different stories,
jumping back and forth.
Yeah, and just jump back and forth throughout like the entire thing. I just always thought that'd be really cool because Red Dawn is, it's such a good story and there's like the premise around it, but it's really just centralized on such a small section.
That one small section they did such a great job on.
But I mean, it was one time I'm saying it's like it's almost kind of like how
they might have a little reference like, oh, there's some kids in Colorado apparently fighting them off. You could get a little, they're called Wolverines or something like that. Make a little like nod to it.
Yeah, you could have something like that, you know. But it's almost kind of like it's like Star Wars, you know. I mean, you got like the you know Luke and Han and Leia. But then you realize, there's all this other shit going on. It's like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing all this other cool crap.
Yeah, no. This one, it looks like they might actually aim for a sequel because more people were alive at the end of this one, and it ends with saying, well, there's still more war to fight. Because with the other one's like, yep, the war eventually ended. Here's a memorial. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like,
I'm not saying a sequel
there
needs
could
to
be a sequel.
I'm not saying a sequel needs to happen, but I'm saying it seems like it might because that they're running out of ideas.
Yeah,
they'll cash in on a sequel any chance they get.
Plus, I'll say this: it wouldn't be a bad thing to have a sequel. Mm-hmm. I don't feel it's necessarily set up to be a sequel, but I mean, any ending where somebody survives, I guess you could say is a sequel. If the character survived, it'd be a sequel.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah,
but I don't know. Other than that, that was pretty cool. Was there any cool trailers we saw of it?
I actually kind of forgot the trailers. There was trailers didn't jump out at me. I think there are a lot of the same trailers we saw before. Really.
No, I just think they're all kind of like, I don't remember them being any. Like,
we saw one for like Gerard Butler playing for like Gerard Butler like
soccer coach
trying to fix his life, trying to do I want to be famous again or do I want to be with my family? That same thing.
Yeah, like the bullshit movies.
Yeah.
There was the Bullet to the Head trailer again, which is always cool.
Bullet to the Head, which was good. I think that was a new trailer. And then there was
the movie just kind of comes across as like those movies just like Stallone is old and he knows it, but that doesn't mean he can't kick some ass still.
That's what those movies are really trying to say.
They're really coming across like that. It's like that's not a bad thing, but like they really sell themselves on how old these characters are.
I think it's almost kind of one of those things like, look, we know we're fucking old, but we don't know how else to make money, and we know you'll pay to fucking see it. So
and we know that we're better than all the young guys still.
Yeah, like that's kind of like the Last Stand in the trailers. I haven't done this in a long time, So
no, that's kind of like how those movies are, and it really is true though because you don't really have too many younger action heroes.
Yeah, well, they're usually all the people that you call
action
like
even
heroes.
Like the younger, it's like Jason Statham, but he's kind of getting old by this point.
They're usually like most of the action. I guess most people you say action heroes are probably because you get every once in a while you get someone in an action movie, but
being in an action movie that's not really the same. It's almost like even though Mel Gibson's in a lot of action movies, he's kind of like he is an action hero, but he's also done so many other movies that could be kind of like both hand in hand. You might probably say he's more action than anything else now that I think about it.
Jason Statham probably like,
but see, like Jason Statham, he's like pretty much
early
like
40s.
Always in action movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then we got who else? We got The Rock.
Yeah, you really got The Rock.
Vin Diesel. He's kind of he only seems to work,
but he's really like
he only works when the new Fast and the Furious comes out. Though they're making a new Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, that's cool.
Because the thing with the
Pitch Black's like that's one of those movies like Pitch Black's like really amazing. Chronicles of Riddick's not bad. It's not okay. Bad.
Well, the thing
I guess because it's just not nearly. I guess because after Pitch Black, you just expect a little bit more.
Well, the thing with Chronicles of Riddick, I think what it was is like, it's kind of like I like Red Dawn way more than the original Red Dawn way more than Chronicles of Riddick. But it's like what you said. You have like what looks like this awesome, backdrop, but we only focus on one small part of it. And I think for being this movie,
well, it's because Pitch Black's such like a bottle film.
Yeah,
and then you explode to like, oh, let's see the whole universe.
I'm not gonna lie, I never saw Pitch Black.
You still have not seen that movie?
I still have not seen Pitch Black.
That movie's such a good movie.
I've seen Chronicles of Riddick, and Chronicles of Riddick that almost seemed more kind of like because I liked the look of a lot of the worlds, but we just
take Chronicles of Riddick and times it by like at least 2, and that's how good Pitch Black is.
Well, I know that all right. You might be able to answer this. I know Chronicle of Riddick. That was like I think what it seems like to me is if I had to guess, Pitch Black. You might be able to correct me on this, or someone in the comments might be able to. Pitch Black sort of seemed like, okay, we got this sci-fi horror film. Like I got this character that I created that I really want to input it. I want him to have his own franchise. I'm going to put it in here. And it was some kind of like a kickoff point for him. And then after that, he went and made Chronicles of Riddick, which is his real his big epic, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. I mean, I still appreciate the Chronicles of Riddick, but I guess one thing too is like whenever you take a movie from an R to a PG-13, it always seems kind of like you got.
The next one they said it's gonna be R.
I think because they realized let's go for our fans instead of like trying to go for it. I think what they were shooting for the Chronicles of Riddick. I feel like director and he's a writer director. I feel like he had like a real set idea, but probably the studio was like, no, make it kid friendly, make it so that like the whole family can come.
Yeah,
because it has that kind of feel like almost like a summer blockbuster sci-fi.
Well, that's the thing that makes about that one. It feels a little unbalanced because it has like that grand scale kind of Star Wars vibe to it. but they're kind of focusing on. I mean, it's kind of cool in some aspects, but it didn't reach its full potential in my opinion, because there are some aspects where it's like, okay, we got like all these like scummy villainous characters. There's not very many good guys in Chronicles of Riddick. I mean,
no, well, it's mostly everybody's bad. Even like the main character himself is like a prisoner and whatnot.
yeah, and that's cool, but yet it doesn't really get that across so much. And it's cool that it's on this big epic scale, but yet everyone in the movie is yet there's not really enough. There's not enough like bad things going on to meet up with these characters' villainy. I think that's just my opinion. Like I like the whole like prison, that whole scene, all that stuff. But
Well,
it just
also like if you think about Chronicles of Riddick, like it actually expands off to other things. Because I think there's like 2 or 3 video games of Chronicles of Riddick. I played one of them, and
People say they're really
really good games.
the games are at an M too.
Yeah, and I think those ones really expand on the story. So it's like almost like that was a place to take off.
Which I never saw the Pitch Black or there's
the Dark Fury, which was like
the animated one, which straight to DVD anime movies that come out right before the sequel. Those always just seem so half-assed, with the exception of Animatrix.
It was an okay one. It wasn't amazing. It kind of explained one thing, like why one of these characters was just suddenly gone.
Was she killed off or something?
Well, it explains in the Dark Fury thing, and no, she wasn't killed off. She went somewhere else. I can't remember. I only watched it once.
Yeah.
It's like those ones like I don't know, like when you watch as many movies as like I do, it's like those ones like if you don't watch a movie more than once, it's kind of hard to remember exactly what happened in it.
Well, it didn't look all that amazing to me. I still really want to see Pitch Black, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I saw like the last 10 minutes of it.
No, the Pitch Black's one movies like you should really go out of your way to watch that one.
Yeah,
it's like that is one of the better sci-fi movies out there. But other than that, I got Expendables 2 on DVD.
How's
Blu-ray,
that?
actually.
We did our thing on Expendables, but how was the special features and all that?
Special features really cool. They got one where it just talks about like action movies in the 80s, and it goes through from like 70s, 80s, 90s kind of in a sense. And it's got interviews with like everybody from like Arnold to Clint Eastwood to Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's pretty badass.
A bunch of the directors and writers. Yeah, it's actually a really well-made like documentary.
Clint Eastwood needs to be in like the next Expendables. No, I'm not. He doesn't gotta be like blowing bitches away with a shotgun or nothing. But he could just pop in there and be like like Sylvester Stallone's teacher or something.
I think him and I think Richard Roundtree would be really badass.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
But no, that was a really well-made documentary. Then they just had one where it just talked, like just behind the scenes of the movie, and that's always kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it just talked about how Stallone got a new director in here because he was like, what, on the last one I was like killing myself to make this movie. You'd go do a stunt, and then you have to come back and look at the camera and make sure everything's right.
He did an amazing job in Rambo, though.
Well, he did that thing too. Like, well, the first one too. There's like that big documentary called like Inferno: The Making of Expendables about just like Stallone really like went over the edge of how much work he was doing in that movie.
Which sucks for him because everyone just hated the first one so much.
Well, not everyone.
Not everyone.
You say
but
everyone like
I don't mean everybody. I don't mean
everybody.
everybody, but I mean just like most of the people. Like, all right, critics aside, most of the people.
The critics themselves, whatever, they wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like an action movie if they, it doesn't matter what action movie.
If it sucked them off at the end, but no, but I mean, most people I asked what they thought of Expendables, with the exception of you, me, and like one other person I can think of off the top of my head. No one else really cared for it.
I guess most people, I don't know, most people talk to the only thing that they ever say about the first one is they're like, I liked it, but it could have been better. That's what mostly, like, most things always were. It's like, well, yeah, any movie can be better, but
like the only people I know that liked it was like you, me. Actually, Marshall liked it.
Yeah,
and
then most people I know liked it.
James. I
think just like because like the only thing is like lots of people that went to see it, they're not action fans anyway, so like you can't really take their opinion seriously.
I know, but a lot of people were all. I'm not saying that's anything against the movie. I'm not saying people liked it. People didn't like it as much as us, so it sucked. I'm not saying that.
The thing is, like, I guess because I've seen a lot of people like defending that movie a lot.
I haven't really
seen people talk really highly about it.
I guess I just don't hang out with a lot of people that are big action fans because I really liked the movie.
Yeah, because like,
I thought the second one was just
something. Go on like Amazon and you'll look at that movie, like people will fucking defend the shit out of the movie. It's got 5 stars, like you wouldn't believe.
I just thought the second one was just a lot better, just because it was more balanced out between all the characters and everybody got more of a shot.
Well, you still got to see the director's cut of the first one too. The director's cut really makes the first one actually pretty cool.
I'll have to check that one out.
It takes it, just kind of gives it just like it almost gives it like an extra, like at least extra like 2.25. Or I mean, extra 0.25.
Oh, okay.
You could probably boost up it, but no, it's got a bunch of cool special features.
Right down to the math.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's pretty cool.
What other features do they got?
Just it had behind the scenes, deleted scenes.
Forgot that already.
That '80s documentary one. It had one. Oh, it had one where it was kind of cool, where like they were showing off some of the guns and they went to there's this gun range place in Las Vegas I've been to before, where you can pretty much go down there and shoot like any type of gun you've ever seen, like in a movie or on video game or something like that.
Stallone probably has one of those at his house.
Well, the place is pretty cool, but like it's really cool to go there and look at like a museum, but it's fucking hella expensive. Like to shoot an AK-47, like with one clip, it's like $60 or $70.
Now, do you have to go there with a license, or do they give you kind of like an honorary license with people supervising you?
It was just people supervising you. It's just like a gun range, and you just take you a gun. The guy kind of like, I think they give you a little course. I don't know. I didn't do it. There was a friend that did it, but it was like I think me and Kyle looked at it, we're like, oh, $70? That's quite a lot of money to shoot one clip.
Just one clip, that's all?
Yeah, like 32 shots.
It is Vegas.
I mean, with some of these guns, like, where else are you going to shoot them at? That's like the
a
one
fucking bazooka or something like that.
They had a bazooka on the wall. Yeah, you could shoot a fucking bazooka.
That almost seems like the biggest cock tease. Like, we have it. No, you can't play with it, though.
I remember they had one thing, it was like $500, and you could really, it was called like shoot the wall or whatever, and you just got to shoot every single gun, and it was on like the wall or something. It's like, I could see if you were really rich and you like, I mean, if I had $500 just to throw, I'm like, that'd be fucking badass. Go down there for the day and just shoot off a bunch of guns.
You can buy a handgun for $500, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, you could, well.
A cheap one.
Yeah, a cheaper one, if you bought it used or something. But, yeah, no, that's kind of like, it's like, well, I don't know, I could go back home and just shoot like a 22 or a shotgun for all day long for that price. But I mean, still, like, where are you gonna, get to go shoot like an AK or an M4?
I guess it's good, it's good practice in case the North Koreans actually invade.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
But I did think it was like, it still seemed a little expensive. Like, really, that much? I mean, like, I don't know.
North Korea should really say, all right, places we will not attack. Vegas. Vegas and Texas.
Nevada, you can still buy automatic weapons and everything.
Vegas and Texas. Don't attack those places, Well, like, no, we leave you guys alone. You guys fine over there,
Well, you can really attack California.
California is fucked, yeah.
It's like nobody has guns and everybody's like afraid.
Just like, oh, we can't. We have too many rights. Just shoot them with a beanbag gun. That's most we got.
We have laws against this.
Yeah.
So we're proud of California. It's like they've almost like built themselves up with like too many laws.
We almost be our own country just out of just how many fucking laws.
Well, if California was its own country, it'd be number 5. that's like how big its economy is.
Yeah.
I don't know. They really need to split California though to make it north and south. I think the main reason nobody wants to do that though is because one, nobody wants to change the flag and put an extra star on there. That sounds like a little bit too much extra work. And 51 just doesn't sound like nearly as good a number as 50.
You want to end on a round number.
Yeah,
like 52 maybe.
I think that's the main reason why there's never been another like state in like the last 60 years.
I'm not saying we got to totally change California. I'm just saying all these fucking laws we got they're just fucking retarded.
Honestly,
it's retarded to me.
Need to split it because Northern California and Southern California are completely different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Well, it's one of those things. I mean, this isn't like the biggest thing in the world, but like because you don't actually really need one of these. But it seems fucking stupid to me that okay, you can have a firearm, you can have something that can take a human life, but God forbid
you have nunchucks.
I have nunchucks. Yeah, I can't have well, what if some hooligans comes at you with like a black belt and fucking nunchucks? It's like nobody's gonna fucking take the time to learn because I was in the martial arts.
People, if they just want to use nunchucks, they probably end up hurting themselves before they hit somebody else.
I was in martial arts for like 10 years and I still had trouble with nunchucks. So yeah.
No, I think that's really dumb. It's like I can understand the automatic weapon thing because who necessarily needs an automatic weapon? Yeah, they are cool, but that's the only reason you have it is because it's cool. Yeah. You have it for no other reason other than it's cool.
That
and I want to shoot a lot of people.
That can isn't going to fire back.
Yeah. So I understand that, but when it comes down to like knives and guns, it's like, okay, seriously, weapons like that. I mean, really anything could be a weapon. So like, you could take that cup right there you're drinking tea out of, break it, and then stab somebody with it right in the throat. It's a weapon.
I'm assuming this is made in linoleum, so it's going to be a lot sharper too.
Linoleum? Ceramic, you mean? Mm-hmm. Linoleum is what they make floor out of.
No, you can make it... Wait,
you probably could make a cup out of linoleum.
Oh, I'm not thinking... I got something... Yeah, no, I'm thinking... Yeah,
I don't know. It'd be a weird texture to drink out of.
No, we have like... I think what's linoleum... I don't remember what... Some weird texture. It's like... At the restaurant I work at, like... If you drop like one of the mugs, it's seriously the sharpest fucking thing in the world. It's sharper than most of the knives we have.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. So it's like... Yeah. I mean, if... But this is the thing I always say. If you really want to take, you could pull your pants off and strangle somebody with it. That'd be a deadly weapon too.
Yeah, so Jet Li does it,
Yeah, so it's like you can't trust anything anymore. Yeah. So that's why they should make nunchucks legal.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just was one. It's more deadly.
You like one of us just at a podium in front of like the state of like front of the like state capitol, like some dramatic like John Williams score over it, like
Some guy from the audience looks
nunchucks,
Some guy from the audience looks up. I thought you were talking about Red Dawn. Where the
That
fuck
too!
did nunchucks come into this?
We
It
need
all needs
nunchucks in case the North Koreans invade.
Because if Americans aren't trained in nunchucks, you know what? They're going to have the advantage over us because they're going to whip out their nunchucks that they learned from, like, the Japanese.
I think aren't they Chinese? Nunchucks Chinese? I see Bruce Lee with them, so I'm assuming the Chinese.
Well, this was like,
They passed over.
you know, the day that somebody took a boat ride from China to Japan, whenever went, holy fuck, look at
Check this out.
And then brought him back to his buddies. They spread
Yeah.
like wildfire.
That's a good point.
I just know because nunchucks is one of, like, the ninjas' weapons.
Oh, alrighty. That works.
So, it obviously has to be Japanese if it's that.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden wouldn't fucking lie to me.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Turtles wouldn't fucking lie to me.
And like Devil May Cry wouldn't lie to me either because he uses fucking nunchucks in that too. So.
He has nunchucks in that one?
He has ice nunchucks.
Is that in the fourth one? Because I
I
don't remember that in the other ones. For some reason.
think in the fourth one, I don't think it was Dante. I think it was Nehru or whatever the new guy was. He used ice nunchucks.
His name started with a V.
Viru or Nehru. I think his name was something like that. Or
It was like,
Zero? Not Zero. No.
oh, well, who the fuck cares?
He was not Dante.
He's not Dante.
Not
so who
Dante,
cares?
yeah. So he's the guy. Though I'll be honest, by the time you're done playing with him, like I was getting attached to him after a while. By
And
the
then
time you
Dante
switched to
came
Dante.
and like it's just like, oh my god.
Dante's here, yeah.
It's kind of like in Metal Gear Solid, like the first time, like, well, never mind, that's the other way. It's the exact opposite. You're playing a Snake, but probably if it went the other way around, where you start out playing as Raiden, you'd be like, who the hell is this guy? This guy's not Snake. And then all of a sudden, Snake shows up, you start playing as him, you'd be like, oh, Jesus.
Well, even like Raiden, I'll say this: he's not a bad character.
I
He's
like
not
Raiden.
He's not Snake, but he's not a bad.
He's not
character.
Snake, but I don't mind.
Yeah. Now, if they were on our side, and North Koreans invade, North Koreans would be fucked.
Yeah. Fucking
You
North
don't
Koreans.
fuck with Solid Snake, or Dante.
Yeah, if Dante was on our side
Yeah.
and North Koreans invaded,
Dante and Snake, that'd be like a fucking amazing combo right there.
it'd be pretty badass.
New Odd Couple. That'd be like Rush. That could be like Rush Hour 4.
So there's no black.
One's a grizzled old spy, the other's a smart aleck talking son of the Antichrist. You
Who
know.
likes to eat pizza.
Yeah.
America's always like eating pizza in cutscenes. Or at least always be a pizza box sitting there like on this table.
The first one, it was like, the first one he'd be all like, he was kind of like, he was cool, he's a smart ass. The second one, he barely talked. He's like, I am too badass to even fucking talk.
I
and,
went
like,
to
the
another
lines-
realm.
Yeah, and the lines they had in the second one were just like too, like, so fucking cheesy. Because there's the evil Italian guy. He's like, no! Or maybe he was like Spanish. He's like, I was supposed to be king of the world! And then like Dante's like, king? Yeah. Here's your crown. Just pulls up two guns and like blows them out the window, and it's kind of like,
Yeah, they went like.
that's the best you got. Here's your crown. That's not even, like, maybe if he like, like threw some spinny thing and mopped and like got stuck in his head and like fell over, that'd make more sense. But I don't know.
I know people always talk. They always say like Devil May Cry 2 is like just like the worst thing ever like created.
It wasn't. It
It's
wasn't
not
great.
that. To me, I thought it was like one of those ones that's like it's not bad. I mean, it's fun. I mean, yeah, it's easy, and it doesn't have like that. At least it
Doesn't make me want to break my controller like in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, I broke my controller on Devil May Cry before, so it's like at least the second one didn't make me do that.
Devil May Cry 3 is I'll say it's a better game, but it's also like way fucking harder than it needs to be in my opinion. Maybe a lot of people say I'm a pussy for saying that, but I don't know. That game's just so fucking hard. But 2 wasn't like the worst thing ever. It was just like they just were trying too hard. Like, they like this guy. Let's make him cool. Make him so cool. He doesn't even joke anymore. He's just too fucking cool. The third one, it's like they made him like a whoa guy kind of.
He's like, yo, bro.
He's like surfing on a
Devil
rocket.
hunting.
Yeah, he's like surfing like on a rocket launcher or something like that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I played Devil May Cry. I gave it a long time.
Yeah. What time are we at right now?
No, we're at 53.
We're at 53? Yeah, all right.
I don't know.
So yeah. Go see Red Dawn. It's good.
Yeah,
If you got to choose one or the other, go with the original, but this one's still good.
Yeah. If you get the only choice you really have in theaters right now is between Red Dawn and Lincoln. Stick with your American patriotism. Don't go see that other bullshit.
See, we got Lincoln, we got Red Dawn. What else is in theaters right now?
But then you get Twilight that fills up the other half of the theater.
the other half of our theater. We got some
I'm
Rise.
assuming if it fills up the other half of our theater, it's like that all around the country.
There's I don't know if anything out really right now.
Well, there was like Flight, but it might be gone by now.
No, Flight was still there. I drove past the movie theater today.
And then Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
With a big thumbs down.
Yeah. You know what Wreck-It Ralph really seems like to me?
What?
Wreck-It Ralph really seems kind of like, all right, you go home with a girl, you're fooling around, everything's starting to get awesome, and then she's like, hold on one second, just, you're both of you are down in your underwear by this point, like, all right, like, just put on this blindfold, like, okay, all right, cool. And then like, you hear her like...
butt cheek spreading?
Almost. You hear like... she has you sitting in a chair, and then all of a sudden you see like a door open and close, you hear like, shh, 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 shh. And then all of a sudden, like, you hear maybe what sounds like a stool dragging. And then
it's a really heavy stool too.
Yeah. And then you hear her say, open your eyes. You open your eyes. Fucking Mickey Mouse has his fucking pants down.
And his cock in your mouth.
Not even that. He has his fucking, like, ass in your face. Butt cheeks fucking spread. He just shits in your face. That's kind of what it seems like.
And then he takes your wallet, takes another $10 bill, and runs away.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, it starts off so awesome, just ends so disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really what Wreck-It Ralph is.
It's Mickey Mouse, like giving you some girl giving you a boner, Mickey Mouse running in, shitting in your face. Yeah.
And I think that's about it. I don't think there is anything else. There's a movie called Life of Pi.
Which, that's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's about it.
That's all we got.
Well, I guess that's a good time to end it. Make sure you check out the oldmanorange.com website. That's a place to go to check out anything Old Man Orange.
And email us. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
So email us at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to whore out for a second. Check out Grit. Links to it at oldmanorange.com. It's a comic book I'm working on.
Okay. Well, that's about it. I guess we'll see y'all later. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
Bye.
Good night.